another one. We got another one. It's her. Who that? Big baby slide through in that drop top. Something by Benz looking cute. That's fine as her and her friends. Big blinks and snatch waist. Yeah, she brought the ain't no way. Somebody daddy ain't gon' give her the spins with her ends. Cause yeah, she did it. She did it again. A few more tracks and this time she bought friends. Big baby on her way up and showed the stairs to a man's. Now salute the general. TGLX got plans. Yeah. Damn, it's the intro? Yes, it's the intro. Damn, this is the intro? Yes, it's the intro.
They don't know what they in for. If we coming like this on the intro, what they here for? If they want the heat, you know who to send for your info. Buy my money like Venmo. This music don't work out. I know how to get it from my ends low. How you feel though? Cause hey, they can't rock with us. Galaxy ain't no stopping us. They ain't trying to steal my style. I'm feeling like I just...
We are down on the bayou as you get a look inside the Superdome here in New Orleans. Today, it's a Week 9 matchup.
Got your best friend hanging out the arm though. Got game like I'm dropping me a console. No, I don't swim, but I give up. Nah, flex. While you there looking the best, feel to get up in your chest while I soak up my success, getting tokens for your stress. I be making all the checks anytime you see me step on a stage.
From a city that has hosted 10 Super Bowls, here's a look inside the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans. Today, it's a Week 9 matchup set to go here between the Chicago Bears and the New Orleans Saints. The first 2 months of the regular season down. What will the final 2 bring us as we're off in Week 9? We'll see a return here from the end zone. Oh, good-looking return set up here. The 40. He's past the 30. He will score. Touchdown, Saints. So a heck of a start to this one. We haven't even gotten settled in already in the end zone on the opening kickoff.
And you know what happens, too? Now you got to translate what that means, because I think for a team that just scored, their defense, I think they'll be more aggressive now. They'll be bold if they're playing with a lead and an early win and some momentum. So if you're the offensive coordinator on the other side of the field, you'd better be prepared for some heavy pressure coming your way. They're going to try and get another big score and a big win early.
Velus Jones now from his end zone. And they'll get him down right at the 25-yard line, so the same result, and he opted for the touchback. They'll start on the ground. It's Rashad Penny. And not the start he was hoping for there, as he'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Calling no gain on the game's first play. And it's second down now. This defense for the Saints, they were very good in the win last week against Jacksonville.
And I don't know what the actual percentages are, and I don't know the analytics when you create 5 turnovers or takeaways in a game. The coaches always say, when you create a number that high,
into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Marcus May with a pick, and the Saints are going to take possession of the football. So problems with errant passing continuing. Remember, he threw 2 picks in the loss last week, and now another here in this first quarter.
And sometimes, partner, this is the result of a quarterback who's simply trying to do too much. Feels like he's trying to make up for what he did last week, and you can't do it all on one throw.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's...
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. CD, look at this clock and scoreboard. We're less than a minute into this game, and they've already made 2 trips to the end zone.
So that means that someone's confidence is absolutely soaring right now. There's almost no slowing them down. On the flip side, now you got to get together. You got to talk to each other. Make sure you stay tight, stay focused as a team. Yeah, it's a quick blitz, but you can get back in this game if you don't let it get away.
And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And they're in an early hole. First drive, they threw the interception. That led to a touchdown, so decent-sized deficit early on.
It is, but I think you hit the key words, early on. So they have to decide, do we even need to change game plan? Or do we just need to execute better and try and get back in this game?
Well, no matter your experience level as a quarterback, you throw an interception on that first drive, maybe a little shaken up. Nice response there to get their first down.
I think you make an excellent point. I don't care who you are. You throw an interception, it's going to get to you a little bit. But the ones that we've seen that are the best, you never notice it. They don't come to the bench, throw their helmets, they don't do any of that. They just go back out the next drive and act like it never happened. And that's what we're seeing here.
Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
Give him a yard on the run there, and that's going to set up a 3rd down and 2. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. They'll try and run for it with Penny. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. A Chicago first down there on a gain of 11.
I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result, because this is a team that's down big early in the first quarter, and a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook, and just start firing the ball all over the place. It's way too early for that. Stick to what works for you.
Down double digits, and we talked about their game plan being both running and passing there. You're right. They're sticking to the game plan, getting the ground game going.
A lot of football left to be played.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. Touchdown, Chicago! Darnell Mooney, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Bears have cut it back within a score. Santos with the extra point, and that'll make our score 14-7. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. Pulls it in at the 13. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. 4-4, their record through 8 games on the season. Would you say that this team has overperformed, underperformed, or are they kind of right where you thought that they would be?
Do you mind if I say yes, yes, and yes? Because ultimately to me, 4-4 is about where they should be, because we've seen weeks where they've been really, really good. They've looked terrific. Other weeks where we wondered just how good is this team. They want to be consistent in their play. Not consistently inconsistent, which is what they've been thus far.
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did, to get them into a manageable 3rd down, because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. He'll drop to throw. Escaping the pressure right. This one to the sideline. He's got it. A nice job to keep the feet in, but he is a bit short here of a first down. Here comes the Saints punter now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. Jones on the return. Nearly a huge return, as it is still a very good one. 24 yards, and the Bears take over. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense.
And they dipped a game below 500 following the loss last week. And you get the sense that maybe this team's at a little bit of a crossroads here.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it, because what's that old malaprop? If you come to a fork in the road, take it. Because this crew, they're losing ground fast. They've got to start winning some ball games. And the good teams, they're starting to separate themselves, and these guys are being left behind.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Here's Fields. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there. They forced the incompletion.
They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion. On 3rd down, Penny. And this won't be enough. A good secure tackle, and they stop him a few yards shy at the 46. 7 yards on the carry there, but now they're staring at 4th down.
Okay, he didn't break that one all the way, but you got to know that he feels like he's right on the verge, and that's probably exactly what he's telling them in the huddle right now.
He punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And a nice job here to down this one right on the 5-yard line.
That punt was near perfection as it checked up inside the 5-yard line. You never know where these things are going to go, do you?
No, what was it? You got a John Heisman quote about that,
yeah,
right?
He said the football is roughly a prolate spheroid, which means it's going to bounce funny, and you never know where it's going to end up.
The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. And he stopped immediately there. Calling no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Offensive line really didn't give him any room to maneuver on that play.
Things closed pretty quickly, didn't they? And how about the wrap-up at the end of that tackle? Left no doubt there would be no additional yardage to be found.
Here's a throw right side taken in by his tight end. And he's going to get this from the 6 out to the 12. A pickup of 6 as they double their workspace. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he was unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions. Jones hit, and the ball's out. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops.
I feel like you and I could be in our backyard with our dads right now. What did they always say when they were throwing us the ball? Look it all the way in. Make sure you secure it. That had the feeling of not happening there on that play, that he didn't have full control of the ball.
When that punt's coming in, I never return punts, but I would imagine it's tough to monitor those guys coming full steam ahead at you.
It really is. You try and get that peek to know where they are, about whether you should fair catch it or not. But sometimes you just have to have a sense, a feeling, and just have to make sure, number one, though, you catch the ball and put it away.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down.
They'll get this out to Kamara.
And they'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. Through one quarter, 14-7 our score. It's caught right side by Daniels. And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line. The Saints at 500 now, 4-4 on the year. And they coming on a pretty good roll here. Winners of 3 straight.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
Again, he'll drop to throw. Got a man open. It's Thomas. It's a touchdown for New Orleans. Michael Thomas, 23 yards for the touchdown. And the Saints go up by 2 touchdowns. And now before we get to the extra point, remember all touchdowns do have to be confirmed by the replay official. Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now 21-7. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. Oh, the return is Jones from the end zone. And he returns this to the 22. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so.
And this throw will be intercepted. Picked off by Paulson to Debo. And the Bears are going to take possession of the football. So cancel the interception, pass interference.
And you know what else gets canceled? The return yardage. Makes the play, but now it's all for naught.
So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. They'll try the right side here with Penny. And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. Defensively, though, they had a chance there to hit him for a loss. Couldn't get it done.
Looked like someone was able to knife into the backfield, but he wasn't able to get him down. But his compatriots, they were able to grab him at the line of scrimmage and not let him get any further downfield.
Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Nasir Adderley. And the Saints are going to have it here just past the 25. Before we came up to the booth, last thing he said as we were walking off the field, want to play mistake-free football. Well, that just went out the window there with a pick.
And do you remember what you said to me when we were walking up to the booth after he said that? You're like, oh, fatal last words. Every time we hear that, things tend to fall apart a little bit, and that's what we saw there. Didn't get enough on that throw, and it turned into an interception.
Alexander Johnson there on the stop. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
Now it's Kamara in the passing game. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It'll be a Saints first down on a pickup of 13.
That's a pretty play there coming out of the backfield, but as that back, you've got to be conscious of making sure you're securing the football. When you get out in open field, sometimes you get a little loose with it as you're trying to get up ahead of steam. Make sure you keep it close to your body because those defenders are trying to punch it free. He does a nice job there protecting the ball and picking up a first down.
2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
That was a pretty good job defensively to hold him to a 2-yard run, but I've got to think this offensive line, they're asking their quarterback for a different type of a run, one that they rely on, one they have confidence in, one they feel like they can block.
And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line.
But it certainly made a point of getting him involved in the passing game here in the first half. They must have seen something in the scouting that said, hey, we can capitalize on him getting the ball, possibly in the open field. And I think in the second half, that may loosen up the defense a little bit to get the running game going back inside.
Ready.
Oh, they're going to run a little pop pass here. And he's going to be stopped at about the 37.
And a lot of times these plays, they either go for nothing or they go for big yardage. And here, they got to the outside, turned it upfield, and ended up getting a nice little gain out of it.
2nd and 2. And his throw is going to be incomplete.
He didn't just deny a big throw there. He broke that one up in the red zone. An excellent play, one that may help save points on the board when this drive is over.
19 tight.
They'll look to throw again. Open man is Michael Thomas. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Bears' 13-yard line. Well, they were in search of a short gain on 3rd down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete.
Well, he certainly did a nice job improvising there, extending the play, hoping someone would come open downfield, but they never did.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Back to throw again. On the check down, he finds Kamara. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. Here's Kamara trying to run for it. And I don't think Kamara got there. Looks like they stopped him short. No gain there on the play, and that's going to leave him with a 4th down. He handed it off there, but I don't really know if he would have kept it or tried to do anything else if it would have mattered.
Yeah, it's not always a wrong read when a play gets stacked up. Sometimes they're just at the line of scrimmage with just too many bodies to maneuver.
And as a result, now they're looking at a 4th down. So a long drive gets them down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And 2 picks thrown here in this first half alone. We'll see how that affects it.
Can't wait to see where his confidence is, because the great ones, they'll throw 4 or 5 picks, and while it'll hurt their team, it won't hurt their confidence. They'll think something was just wrong with the ball or the wind or something was funny. It's never about them. That's how they stay so into the moment and into the game.
One play action, Fields. There goes a deep ball, end zone. And this ball incomplete. Looked very much to be a catchable ball and could not hang on. 2nd down coming up.
Good defensive call right there, because they had someone shadowing him along his entire route. And he was right there ready to provide a hit that prevents him from making another catch to his big start.
This is caught. It's Christian Watson. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. 1st and 10 here. You know, if they could just get 3 out of this, there's something about narrowing it to a 2-score game at half that makes it feel like much less of an obstacle. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I think sometimes when you're trying to get after the quarterback, maybe it's better to be lucky than great, because I think on that one, he's just trying to get upfield and rush the passer. Instead, the tackle for the loss landed right in his lap.
On 2nd and 12, Fields. Oh, Fields is intercepted for a 3rd time. Picked off by Nasir Adderley. And the Saints will take over here just shy of the 30. I'm not sure that the wheels, Charles, are coming completely off, but they're shaking a little bit. That's 3 interceptions, and now interceptions here on back-to-back drives.
And I think about what a Hall of Fame coach told me that he always told his teams, when a mistake happens, just move on to the next play. Let it go. Hard to do when you're throwing this many interceptions. That's exactly the attitude that has to be adopted.
Not wanting to take a chance this time, they'll keep it on the ground. And this will go as a short gain on what will be the final act of this first half. So it's halftime here in New Orleans with the Saints out in front. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gunn, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Bears going to see the football first, and they trail here as we get back underway to start this second half. A short kick taken at the 18. And a nice return sets them up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And they look up at the scoreboard facing that deficit. A 3-score game, Charles, but look, there's plenty of time to go here. The old football cliche that comes to my mind is you can't get it all back at once. They probably need something, though, out of this drive, at least 3 points.
Are you trying to say that there's no 3-score drive on that play sheet for any of those coordinators? They just don't have it, right? You're trying to get it all back. You know you can't get it back in one drive, but maybe cut into it a little bit as you just suggested. Try and create a little bit of momentum, a little bit of a spark, and then maybe that'll carry over.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
And that run was memorable for only one reason. There's absolutely no place to run with the football. No gaps, no creases, no gain.
Third down now. Those last 2 plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. Going for the deep ball. He's got him in. Complete. Touchdown, Chicago. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the third quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there's an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And they were terrific in the first half, built up a sizable lead, and it's just been cut into a bit following the opening drive score on the other side. But this is a unit that has to be itching to get the football again.
You could say that again. They've got to be pretty eager because, let's face it, they've had to sit through halftime, then sit on the sidelines and watch that drive. So you can bet that they're saying, let's get on with this. We got to go out there and get some more points.
Forced out to his left. That's complete to his running back, Kamara. And he'll be marked down at the 26 with a gain of 7.
Everyone has their strengths, able to move to their right or their left, being able to throw the football. So that means you've got to work on both because you never know which way you're going to get flushed by pressure. In this situation, able to escape to his left and makes an accurate throw.
So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. On third down, he'll drop to throw. Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. He could not get away that time, and it'll be a loss of 11 on third down. Here comes the Saints punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Here's Jones on the return. They'll call it a punt of 44 yards. The return was for 7. And they will take over 1st and 10. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. A strong showing their last time out. They scored the touchdown, but Charles, they look up and they're still down double digits, so you feel like just to keep pace, this drive probably needs to end in the end zone as well.
Yeah, and I think the best move for them is to not worry about how far they are down on the scoreboard, but to just remember the last drive and how it ended. Go ahead and try and repeat that. Then you can look at the scoreboard and see where this game is.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Back to throw. Fields. That's complete to Mooney. And they're going to get this up to midfield. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. From the 50, here's Fields. Nowhere for Fields to turn, and down he goes. Finally hauled down for the first time this game. Multiple defenders in there to drop him. Here comes the Bears punter now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And here's a very low-line drive, almost whiffed on it. And this one will be touchdown inside the 40-yard line. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive.